as background, this was a global phase 3 study looking at patients with advanced esophageal squamous cell cancer. They needed to have received first-line systemic treatment with chemotherapy. And then after progression, they were randomized 1-to-1 to receive either Tislelizumab, which is a PD-1 inhibitor. It's a drug that's given every 3 weeks, or they were randomized to investigator's choice chemotherapy. And this could be paclitaxel, docetaxel, or irinotecan, which are our standard second-line and beyond treatment options for esophageal squamous cell cancer. Their main endpoint was overall survival in these patients, and they were very keen on looking at how PD-L1 expression, and the score that they used is something called the TAP score, or tumor area positivity score. They wanted to see how that played into survival benefit. So what they found was that the patients who received Tisli, they did have a survival benefit, and that survival benefit was 8.6 months versus 6.3 months. And the hazard ratio here was 0.7, and it was statistically significant of P of 0.0001. And so they found that this benefit was in patients more acutely with the TAP score of greater than equal to 10%. And the survival there was more pronounced. It was 10.3 months versus 6.8 months. And so based on this, it is a standard, it is a new standard treatment option for patients who have received chemotherapy in the first line, but not a prior PD-1 or PD-L1 inhibitor, which I think is the main sticking point of this trial. And that is how we need to interpret this study and see if it makes sense for our patients. I think it's an unanswered question about whether Tisli is any better or worse than the current PD-1 and PD-L1 inhibitors on the market. Until there's a real head-to-head comparison, I think it's very hard to make any conclusions about any differences that this PD-1 inhibitor may have compared to any of the other ones on the market, like nivolumab or pembrolizumab. Yeah, it certainly seems that we're seeing the same picture over and over again with which benefits are benefiting from PD-1 and PD-L1 inhibitors in the gastroesophageal space, meaning that the higher the PD-L1 score, whether it be the combined positive score, which is what we've used a lot in the past with other studies with other PD-1 inhibitors, or in this case, this TAP score, the higher the better, meaning the higher the score, the more we're seeing a survival benefit. In other cases, potentially a response rate benefit as well. So it is still very much an important biomarker to get to understand if your patient is going to benefit. Question we often get is, would we use Tisli over more of our established PD-1 inhibitors like nivolumab and pembrolizumab? I think it's going to be a difficult arena to really break into. I think what we really need are more novel combinations with these PD-1 inhibitors with other, say, immune checkpoint inhibitors or other immunotherapy agents, or what's really exciting right now is pairing them with antibody drug conjugates. So I think the real strength here is that Tisli has clearly established itself as having activity in stomach and esophageal cancers. And now I think the next step is to really come up with more effective combinations to try to get us away from kind of the standard doublet chemotherapy that we've relied on for so long for this disease, and try to really give our patients more treatment options.